Are we ready? Is everybody ready?
Music is here.
Oh my goodness. This is why we can't have nice things in KeyForge. But what's going on, everybody? I am the one, the only, the WOOKIE in my new setup. So if some things sound weird, I apologize. Hopefully everything's still good. He is still talking. He is still going. But anyway, we have a nice short episode for you this week because GG has released no news, so we have no idea what's going on with the state of KeyForge or anything. When is Prophecies, Prophetic Vision supposed to drop? Anybody know? They did a game found. Remember, there was like thing that you're...
Why are we thinking it's earlier than like late April, early May?
Is that what it's supposed to be?
When that stuff comes out?
I don't remember. The game found seems like forever ago. Right? Is it just me, or does the game found seems like, oh, Dexter says early May. I feel like the game found was like 3 months ago. Like, it seems so long. But we're here to tell you guys all about why sheep and Ewoks suck at KeyForge. Not me. I won my game this week. Now I'll lose this game this week. Because that's how things go. But sheep, how did your game go? And well, this is Final Refrain for those of you not in with the times. So, oh geez, I heard a beer crack. That's how good it went this week, huh, boys?
Yeah, that's how good it went. So I was playing against Sith of Angmar. He was playing Faith, which is the triple Sandhopper, awesomely pipped card to make the Sandhopper thing go, with a puzzling trinket that they used to just make all draw to make it happen. And I was playing Fraud, of course. So it is funny. The rumor mill that I hear is that when Reapot was practicing, Fraud was pretty dominant in their practice. And in our practice, with me playing Faith and different people playing Fraud, I won most of the games with Faith. So we had very different results. I put the games 50-50, maybe a little bit more towards Fraud. But I only won one game, so I'm out. I lost 2. So that was that.
Did you get O2'd?
No. The first game was pretty close. I made a couple interesting decisions based off of some experience, and Faith goes really slow. Like, my opening hand was like, I don't remember, but I know I had library access and either 1 or 2 logos cards. And, Fraud's usually pretty efficient and fast. So I'm like, I'm actually going to discard the library access because it's not going to do anything right now unless I just get stupid lucky and I chain a million logos cards, right? It's too early. It's like the first turn of the game, so your deck's full. So I just discarded library access, figuring I would get back to it with reverse time or just flipping because of battle fleets. I didn't draw logos cards after I played and drew, so it was probably the right choice, as it turns out in that game. But I never got a chance to come back to the flip because Sith, that game, he just landed the Mars board and just reaped out with Mars, and I was just like, stop reaping with 6 creatures or whatever. And then doing that and with whatever's going on, set up a befuddle turn. It was just, I lost 3 keys to 2 keys, I think, and it was kind of close. But like, my battle fleets didn't do much that game. It just, it's just a mediocre Fraud game. Second game, I did all the Fraud things. I won 3 keys to no keys quite dominantly. And then into the third game, is that the third game where it just, like, I think on turn 1 of game 3, his turn 1, if it was that game, I can't remember all the games in order, but played all the Sandhoppers, right? And I'm like, oh, bloody heck. And then the next turn just goes back and has this pipped up card, just goes to town, right? because it's got 2 amber pips and a draw pip on a card with triple sandhopper. So then it's just to town. And once the I think he also had the puzzling trinket right away too. So then it's just draw whole deck basically. And I had the worst set of 2/2/2s, and I made a couple of minor mistakes where I played creatures where I probably shouldn't have, and Sith did an amazing job of bubbling pointless Mars creature or pointless Shadows creatures back to the top of my deck, so I'd have to redraw them with bubbles. I probably should have discarded some cards there, but like I lost that game 3 keys to 0. Like I got annihilated. Nothing went right. It was just it was just wretched garbage. And that's how you lose.
So in the chat, there's a question, a price check on fraud. What is the new reduced price at?
Down from $5,000 to $4,000.
Hey, there you go. Minus 1,000. Morgan was spot on. Way to go.
Yep, there you go.
Winner.
Yeah, that's an interesting matchup, Faith v Fraud. Might be able to see that at Roseville.
Yeah, I would be happy to play that match again. I feel like I did not do well. I think I went on to play a bunch more games with Fraud that day and just kept losing too. It was just like the TCO draw engine was against me. So,
I've been there. I've
felt
that.
Like that whole week had been that way too. Like there were some store championships I hadn't done much in. It's just like it just felt like everything was just like not quite there that week.
Everything's just not coming up.
It's been pretty good.
Didn't you take second in our store champs that week?
Yeah, I'm losing important games.
Second place is just first loser.
There was
but I have since won store championships, so some KeyForge luck has come back to me.
With
Life has been
Wookiees
okay. I have won with Wookiees deck, and I won Alliance with one of Sydney's decks. I took Sydney's Martian Generosity Key Abduction deck and trounced all you fools.
Yep.
Hey. Trounced is a really hard word, okay?
Listen, you had a well-timed punk.
You won on a key cheat, my friend.
Well, I mean, that's how that deck
is that not what that deck does?
That's kind of how that deck operates.
No, that deck, I made the choice to not go ahead and kill your helper bot. And I thought about it. We talked about it. And then you're like, no, I don't think that's a big deal. And sure enough, had I taken that, it gave you an extra 2 cards that played, which was the difference in the game for that. So,
Pete, what is your? Do we need to bring Pete on? Pete, what is your like? You say borrow decks and like you get nervous. Like this isn't a common practice in KeyForge. Like all the time. Like, come on, Pete, come on up. I need to know. Like you're always like borrow decks. Ah. Hold on, I'm gonna invite him to speak here real quick. And get him in here. Pete, one of our locals. Yeah. He does come to Games Universe and he comes all the places.
All of Wisconsin. I come to all those places.
Pete here won our first Archon championship over at Pink Bunny.
Yeah.
And I actually think the field of decks at Pink Bunny might have been stronger than the field of decks at Games Universe.
Yeah.
So what
talk to me more about this.
So this idea that borrowed decks are somehow filthy.
Yeah, like you always give the I don't know what eyes those are, but like eye. When I look at them, the side eye. Like I always feel like you're like, dirty. Like, well, come on, what? We're all gonna borrow decks. We're all in it to win it, right?
Well, sure. I mean, those of us that have to win a store championship are certainly other people.
Throwing shade.
You know what? I'll just like to let you know that I put Fraud in a box and picked some other Garbo deck so you guys didn't have to get truly waffle stomped. Shut up. You wouldn't even play it.
That's not true. I can't play it because you've stolen it from me.
You you opened it and you threw it right into your box of shame and I'm like, give me that deck.
Hey, Mom, Dad, please stop fighting. I'm feeling really embarrassed again.
Mommy hit
He was like, it isn't 100 sass. It's not good enough.
I asked Sheep on Tuesday, and our local store championship Archon, what deck are you bringing? Assuming he was bringing Fraud, because he had some other goofy stuff that apparently he borrowed.
Stolen. I like to use the word stolen.
Yes.
Because
stolen is probably more accurate at this point.
I was asked to borrow them almost a year ago now, and I said, sure, Sheep, I will let you borrow them. Not that he didn't already have them in his possession, and I'm not sure why, but he borrowed them to go down to San Antonio last year, and I have yet to receive them back.
Gotcha. Yeah.
He says he's keeping them safe. You can't see my
we see what happens to your decks. You lose them.
Or there's Cheetos in there, and Doritos, and random food.
That's what those Garbo decks deserve. A bunch of random snacks on them.
Got it.
So I was going to run back my store championship deck because I thought everyone was going to bring new decks, because at Pink Bunny Games there was a restriction that it could only be Ghost Galaxy decks. And so I was ready to run it back, ready to get that second store championship accolade assigned to it, which apparently isn't a thing. And so I said, well, I'll just run this other deck. And then she played with the idea, I think, of running Fraud, which would have been fine. I would have been happy to do that matchup. But I don't have anything against borrowed decks, and I think it's a great aspect of the game where it's teams sharing decks amongst themselves. I think that's fantastic. I love ABR, and that's the same thing.
Well, then stop giving me the side eye. It makes me feel dirty.
This side eye was directed at Mr. Sheep.
Mr. Sheep. Well,
yeah, I'm the dirty dirt ball.
Yeah. But anyways, so now we've solved that mystery. Pete's not against borrowed decks, so you don't have to worry about Pete's judgment coming down on you. But let's get back to, we got Mr. Ewok. Your game maybe took the whole match, maybe took, 30 minutes?
Just about 36 with commentary, yep.
Tell us
before we... No,
where the bad beanstalk touched you.
Oh, no. Beanstalk was fine. KeyForge here, because there was a talk about KeyForge Prophetic Visions earlier, and we do actually have some information. So the latest message coming out on the 11th of February, so I know about a month ago, because we're in the middle of March now, it says, once development wraps for production, production will begin shortly after. Thanks to our partner at Artiforge, we can streamline the process. We'll start shipping overseas first, followed by U.S. pledges. So this, that's roughly where they are. They are not ready to set a firm shipping date, but typically we do see in May is when we're expected, but potentially earlier from, a month ago. So that's good news.
Good news. Okay.
You asked for mine, and we said that we were going to do this different, and I was going to be real short today. So
no, go ahead. I want to know, because yours actually was you took the most interesting line I think I've seen play. I've only ever seen one other player do what you did, and it was quite interesting.
I was just going to say I had a great game. I had 2 games. I played against Astron, phenomenal player. I lost. There we go. All right, you really want more? Fine.
I do, because you played kind of I've only ever seen this done one other time. You pretty much attempted to play no creatures.
Yeah. So basically, I was playing Morgan's deck, Kovan, and Astron was on Astron's top 4 deck that Astron played over at Worlds. So well-known deck. That's Tongue, and that's what I shortened it. But 101 SAS, it has Brobnar, and Brobnar, as you said, was Beanstalk. But with the Beanstalk, it's got Recklessness, Down to Size, Cacophonous, Riot, Smith, and then we're looking at Double Blunderbore, Crim Torch Tooth, Lifting Buddy, Old Boomy, Orner Skullface. And ironically, the card that didn't seem to do much in any of my practice matchups, but Yo Mama Mastery, which, in case anyone has forgotten about that sweet rare, Amber Pip upgrade, this creature gains taunt, but play fully heal this creature. That's kind of a deal breaker, because Kovan, the deck that I was playing, super cool, 97 SAS Amber Skies deck. Triple Junk Restoration, Ghoul Keeping, Echo Fly, double Arise with a nice sweet Geistoid Enhanced Pip on one of those arises, and specifically a Vapor Imp that has a Geistoid Pip. So Geistoid Enhanced House Pip. So basically the line that I was trying to go ahead and take is I saw that on Tongue has 18 printed amber. With Brobnar, Unfathomable, and Untamed. I didn't say the other two houses, but basically double Tangy-Mangy, Wicolia, but Blunderbore seemed to be, in my opinion, the most important kind of amber control. So if you look at the amber control stats on DOK, Wicolia, Thing from the Deep, Blunderbore, and Tangy-Mangy. And so that was my target. I looked at the deck and I'm like, how can I beat this deck? If I put out creatures, if you have Beanstalk out and you have Blunderbore already there, you can go out and fight. And if it kills it, you can actually bring it back with Beanstalk, play it again. The Recklessness can go ahead and get rid of my hand, but the Cacophonous Riot can reuse it. So there was a lot of use there for amber control. And with Blunderbore being -2, I just thought it was too big of a liability, and my board is small creatures. So I made the decision early on that I think the line is actually to not play a single creature at all, but instead be able to go ahead and use the double against all flags from my deck for steal, go ahead and run Junk Restoration, and then when I need to, I'm going to basically rule of 6 the Ghoul Keeping Echo Fly. I have a line with the Arise to basically go ahead and limits creatures being played or actions with that Vapor Imp. So that was the goal. And when I came into the match, in the matchups, this was not the deck that I want to see. The matchup is not great for me. It's not good. But I still place it probably at 40, 60, or maybe 30, 70 for Astron. I still think Astron has a huge high probability of being able to win. But the game was super interesting. And the reason I thought that Astron had that high percentage, and we'll be arguing whether that's true or not, is Kovan has limited C and no hard R. So Beanstalk, I have no response for. I cannot do anything about it. So I can't mess with that. And my C is Ecstasy Siphon. That's never a card that you want to go ahead and see as your first card on C. Infinity Strop, all hands on deck, the Boomerang, and then it gets real bad from there. Shadow of Dis, like I just don't have C. So play to your outs. Like that's what you have to do. Unfortunately, in game 1, I had Amber Push. I was there. I think that Astron's deck actually came a little bit slow. Thing from the Deep. Game 1 was close. I ended up getting key cheated. And Spooky Charge was there at the end. So it went fast. It was close, but Spooky Charge went ahead and took game 1. Game 2.
Yes.
Thank you, Sheep. Sheep went ahead and wrote in C all in our comments. Thank you, because I could have used a little bit of C. So I'm going ahead and cracking up over here.
You do talk a lot about C.
Well, but I think that going ahead and having some creature control is important. I mean, people know I do like my decks that typically are a little bit more utilitarian, have creature control. But if you don't have a board wipe at all, a Beanstalk deck with multiple creatures there can be brutal. Till the Earth, Recklessness were both pretty bad for my matchup. But the short answer, yes, I am always looking for max KeyForge time. I thought game 2, actually, both of the games probably took less than this conversation, to be 100% honest.
They were quick. You can go watch them over on the Final Refrain channel.
Yeah. But, I mean, I knew what my line was, and you just have to stay disciplined in order to go ahead and go through it. I did get into a spot where my junks really did not come up in game 1. They were very, very late. And game 2, I'm pushing. I did get the ghoul keeping to be able to push off. I had I'll be honest, I had a why I suck at KeyForge moment, and that was my hand was dis, and I'm discarding cards. But in my hand, I have Dust Imp, 2-power Imp, destroyed, gain 2, and I have Serene, which has a discard pip on the Serene, and it's enhanced dis, but it says scrap, deal 2 to a friendly creature. I know scrap, I'm going to discard it, and I'm going to kill my Dust Imp. I literally looked at this hand, and I'm like, this is what I'm doing. The problem was when I came back to go ahead and go through this, I second guessed because I saw the discard pip, and I'm like, I can't play Serene because I can't discard because the 2 cards that were left in my hand, one was a Junk Restoration and the other one was Ectofly. I can't do that. And so I chose to go ahead and discard my Dust Imp and then my Serene. The only difference is that I already knew all I had to do is play the Dust Imp. Dust Imp isn't sticking around. Serene's going to blow it up, and I'm going to gain the 2 Amber. And if you actually look at the game 2, I end up losing as I go for the key cheat because I got key cheated with Spooky Charge in game 1. Game 2, I fell 1 Amber short, and that was 2 turns before was the Dust Imp that should have been the Serene going into it. So yeah, KeyForge happens, but I made a choice. I know it. But for some reason, my brain could not override seeing that discard pip that I have to play this card. I'm not playing it. I'm discarding it. I'm scrapping it. So if I'm scrapping it, it's never going to be played, and I don't have to worry about that discard pip. But that, your friends, is why I go ahead and suck at KeyForge. And in all seriousness, though, Astron played super, super smooth. It was a line that I had to take that I had a chance. I thought the games were close, but I would have loved to have seen a third game, but I do think that Astron has a very, very, very good deck. He played it really well, and I wish him the best of luck.
No, you don't.
I do.
Yeah, that dirty dog took me out of Worlds. Down with the Astron!
Down with the Astron!
But Astron, one, is someone who is part of our AC group from long ago when we were playing during COVID. There's a lot of great memories.
And where has he been lately, huh? Where has he been lately? Nowhere to be found.
Running from giant spiders.
He is. I mean, he did come over here for Worlds and do very well, and it was great to see him. So,
and he was part of another team. He's been sleeping around with us on another team. He's now become...
Morgan was part of that team.
Morgan, how dare you?
It's like everybody who wasn't us or Rebound.
But I think that people have to think about the decks that they're seeing. What can you recall about their decks? What is their main win con? Like, that's the short answer. What is this deck trying to do? As you sit down at any given Archon match, we should have a general idea. So what does Fraud want to go ahead and do? Fraud's going to be quick. Fraud's going to go ahead and push for Amber.
Win game? No.
Okay,
not lately.
Yeah, not lately.
But when you're looking at Faith, what does Fraud not do well with? Fraud has the bounce. It has 2 damage across the board, but it's not going to have your magical
doesn't deal with board flood real well.
No.
And so when we look at these individual decks, every single deck has weaknesses. That's why we love KeyForge, but look for that and see what is your line. Because most people just, it's a 90-10. No, you have a chance. Take that to its fullest and lean into it. It's pretty crazy to leave a wide open board, but if you can do it and it gets you to your win, then I say it's a good strat. It did not pay for me, but I thought it was very, very close, and I thought it was still my best bet. Because if I put creatures out, Astron's going to fight them, and I'm just losing Amber, and in the long run, I lose out.
I just thought, because I think the only other person I've ever seen do that strategy was Nova at Live.
Okay.
I want to say it was Nova at Live, and it was a real fear of the Markadis.
Yeah, that's real. You haven't watched enough Fraud games, because that's a pretty standard strategy I run.
Yeah.
Play no creatures?
Yep.
I mean, I know you play a few creatures, but I don't think I've ever seen you play no creatures.
Oh, yeah.
Especially
Mark of Distas, I played no creatures.
Oh, well, I haven't seen you play many Markadis decks, and Markadis is not... Yeah, it pops up in my match this week. But it's not been even what's the other one? Control of the Week I haven't seen very much of as of late. Now, I'm sure I'll see a ton more in Alliance when Vault Tours start popping up because it's not on the restricted list no more. So
yeah, I do think Control the Week and Alliance will definitely show up more often. But I think Mark of Dis is live, and I enjoy it. But you really have to think: is this creature actually worth? Is it worth playing? And if not, the answer most of the time should be discard it, get rid of it. Most people, especially newer players, will just continue to play their creatures out of habit. But it can, like, if that house, you have no answer with Amber Control, you essentially have a way to lock out that you can go ahead and score a key. I just go high and then I hit my, in dis, I go above key and then I just Mark of Dis you. There you go. You can't do anything to stop it. So think about those choices ahead of time and go ahead and make the decision. I will say in game number 2, I did not want to go ahead and go with Veil and Kern Slime for the capture, but I needed to in order to keep myself alive. And sometimes that's the other piece, is make a decision on what to go ahead and actually use. I will say that my ghoul keeping, I used one time to go ahead and pull back the junk restoration at the end because I'm pushing to try and full. Instead of a reap, I'm trying to dig deeper to see what more I can get through on that deck. So just know your cards, know your outs, and lean into that. It's an important piece of the game.
either of you guys watch my game, or was I the only one that watched it because I was there?
No, so I actually
You played
watched
at like midnight or something silly.
I played it 9:30 Central Standard Time.
Yeah, so Wookie, I actually watched the first game, and I think that was the real trick, is that as soon as I left, after your Rebel was buried literally in the bottom 2 cards, if I'm correct.
Yep.
Like, because that it just offered so many options, and I'm waiting. You called Mars, and you didn't have it.
No.
That's part of the game. And as soon as I went to bed,
I made
then
a
you rock and roll
massive
2 games. So
I made a massive mistake. I think, what was it, second or third turn? I ain't gonna lie to nobody. I was exhausted. I had inventory this week at work, so I was doing a whole bunch of stuff. It was late. I came home and I was like, you know what? I'm gonna take a little nap before my game. My daughter actually woke me up 15 minutes beforehand and was like, don't you have a game to play? And I'm like, oh shit, I do. So I like rustled all my stuff together, and I'm like, all right, I gotta go play this game. Okay. And I'm sitting there, and I believe he hits the Hellfast, if I'm not mistaken, and then I Winds of Death, and I'm like, wait a minute. Don't I get to choose order? And then I was like, oh yeah, Winds of Death doesn't work like that. And it took me about 15 minutes to like come to that realization. By midway point in that game, I had actually kind of woken up and was ready to rock and roll. So that's why I suck at KeyForge moments. I totally dumped game 1 because of that Winds of Death. I'm 100% positive of it. It was just a dumb move on my part, and I was like, oh yeah, that's correct. That's the ruling. Most of my mistakes come from me being tired. But that was my mistake, and I think it was like turn 2 or turn 3. It was something like that. Somebody will tell me what it was. But after that, I mean, yeah, I didn't have the second Rebel. I'm like, shit, this sucks. And I'm like, man, I can get him exactly to where I want, but he'll still forge. Then we went to game 2. Game 2, what was it? Was it 1 key to 2? I don't even remember. I have to look here.
I'm trying to get the 3 keys.
Yeah, I know. Let's see. Game 2. Yep, 3 keys to 1. I mean, you and I on our tests had very much come to the conclusion that the board was going to be super duper 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 important. Mm-hmm. So I needed to protect my plan 10, my Fiery Jark, and my Winds of Death. We had kind of talked about. It was kind of dicey whether I wanted to play that or not. But the Grim Reaper we knew was going to be a big one. So sure.
But
enough,
I think that comment, though, knowing that you cannot consistently play your Winds of Death, Here's when to play it. Like everyone says, oh yeah, just Winds of Death. It's so good. You have to be aware that it is not always good to be able to play.
Yeah.
Like frankly, if your opponent, like these are all very, very, very solid decks that you're seeing in the Final Refrain. So to go ahead and have a opponent where they just have a monster section of creatures that they're going to put back, especially some of this Mars that I'm seeing from GR, where it can go ahead and Doctor Rebel. No, I think that it's a real liability and you should not be playing that. So these, as a player, you want to think through, is this actually viable in this matchup? Can I play this, or am I making a choice to play the card to save my keister right now, but basically I'm going to lose the game long term?
Well, I mean, at one point I had to play it to get rid of a Brio.
Yes.
So at one point I'm like, oh, I have Winds of Death. I don't want to Winds of Death, actually. At that point I didn't want to Winds of Death, but with Brio on board, that meant I got to kill something. And I was like,
so it hits one. Yeah, it hits one creature.
I think he hit the Brio and Squeaky Dog guy that makes a token creature, and I was like, oh, I have exactly 3 cards in my hand right now to where I don't want to be. I'll just play them, and that'll get rid of the whole board, and then he'll have to figure out a way to get Brio back. So, and then I don't remember. I know one game I planned 10 the Brio, and then just knew to hold on to my Grim Reaper because Grim Reaper I think was in the archives, or I had a way to scoop him up or something like that. And I'm like, I just need to hold on to this Grim Reaper until the Brio comes down, and then I'll just play him, purge him, and then Brio's no longer a factor. So a lot of the things I was scared about the Hellfast definitely terrified me. We saw what a turn 1 Hellfast did in some of your and I testings, and it didn't go well. And then the Brio never came up in our testing to be anything huge, but he definitely hit Brio a couple of times, but I at least had the answer each time. Again, knowing I had to hold, I needed to definitely keep tabs on my Plan 10, my Fiery Jark, and my Grim Reaper. Like those were the 3 cards I knew I had to like keep tabs on. Just because like those are my 3 outs against Brio. So I mean, there was one time where I think I took Fiery Jark and Plan 10 just to be safe, right? Like it was like just in case it gives me options when that Brio hits. And I think, I think sure enough, at one point Brio hit, and I just hit the Plan 10, and I'm like, all right, we're going to go about this slow. And at least I know when Brio's coming, because he'll take the Brio when he wants to go into that house. And I think that's when I hit him with the Reaper. I honestly can't. I don't remember a lot of those games. Some of you guys maybe watched it. And I don't remember a ton about it. But that Winds of Death in game 1, I was like super confused, but I was also super not awake at that point in time.
So talk to me on that front. With online play, you can actually be sick and then still behind your computer. You can also be really tired.
Yep. I mean,
we hope that doesn't happen when you're over at the vault, that you are sick and still there. Please don't be sick. Just go.
I've never been sick at a vault, but I've been super tired at a vault.
Yeah, that's what I was going to say. I think we're pretty sure that you've fallen asleep at a vault while playing. But anyway.
While playing, but in between rounds, sure, I'll get a little snoozy in.
I'm pretty sure that you had fallen asleep when we were doing our cast with all the other.
You can continue to say that, but that's not true.
Okay. But anyway, I think this is important. How does that impact your ability to play? If you're sick or if you are tired, do you see a difference in Sheep? Do you see a difference in Pete? Do you see a difference?
Well, nothing like a little hangover to quiet the mind and help focus, I think is what I assume you guys have been doing this whole time.
This is why we love you, Pete.
We go to let's not pretend like we go to KeyForge Vault Tours to actually play KeyForge. We're there to escape our families and drink heavily. Maybe not. Maybe not Ewok. Ewok might be there to play KeyForge, but
I'm actually there to play KeyForge and go ahead and hang out with our KeyForge family and have some great times. I actually like my family, so yes, that's not me. Don't speak for me, man.
I'm not saying I don't like my family, but I do like, what do they say? Absence makes the heart grow fonder.
That's right.
A little absence never hurt nobody.
This isn't absinthe. It's being absent.
I don't understand. Absence. Yes, you're being absent.
No, you.
Okay.
I got your joke, Ewok. It's okay.
Thank you. I will slowly back up.
All right. Well, anyways, yeah. I enjoy my time at the Vault Tour, so I think we all do. And we've got one coming up. When's our first Vault Tour coming up? Don't only answer it once.
Rochester, I believe.
Yeah. Anybody going from here? I think the only one going from here is Drascore. Right? Am I wrong on that one?
Nope, I think you got it.
Are you going? You're not going?
No.
At Millennium Games, yep.
I don't have vacation to go to most of this shit this year.
You want some of mine?
Donation.
You want some of my vacation?
I sure do.
I got like I'm peaking at about 300 hours here. They're about to take some away from me if I don't start taking it. Which is BS because they don't pay me out for it either. Which is also BS.
Sheep.
Absinthe. I didn't say absinthe. I said absence.
I know, and I played off of that. Anyway, we're bringing you back in. Sheep, have you ever gone ahead and played KeyForge while not there? What was the impact for you?
I mean, you just make a bunch of bad plays. It's fine.
But I think that's important, is that when you're playing in a vault or in this Final Refrain where you have the best of the best, Wookie, you could see a difference between game 1 and game 2. And it just comes down to having a glitch for one moment can go ahead and have an impact on the whole entire game. And
Are you dad momenting me right now?
You won. It doesn't matter, man. You won, so you're perfectly fine. But I think that for all the players, you play to the best of your ability, but you also can't be that hard. If it's past and you made a mistake, I'm pretty sure you heard all three of us here say that we all made a mistake within the last week on our games that were played. It's just, can you minimize those mistakes? Can you not go into tilt when that happens, when you realize, oh goodness, I just should have played the Dust Imp and then blown it up like I had planned? But it happens. You're going to have to move on and not let it impact you the rest of your day, the rest of the game, and see what that impact is on the game. But with these top decks, top players, play to the best of your ability. But know that being sick it does have an impact. Going ahead and being tired has an impact.
Listen,
I don't know. I know that I get harassed from this group, but I realize that when I'm tired, I slow down, and they don't like that at all.
I took second hungover, so I'm just saying.
So think what you could actually do if you were sober and focused.
This guy I'm playing, because I'm playing.
Because that's what Sheep does, yep.
Yeah, he messes up his turn, plays an arm fuller, asks for manual mode. Chinese guy.
Fair enough.
We don't stereotype Sheep.
It's Chinese guy because he doesn't speak any English.
Well,
there are lots of
Sheep, you're not making this any better, okay?
Well, it matters because he clicks manual mode and I go whatever. Puts it back in his hand, clicks off manual mode. Like, okay. And then he clicks manual mode again. I'm like, I don't know what's going on. I click okay. And then sits there for a while, and then Chinese characters come up on screen. I'm like, yep, this is good.
And that's how he knew he was getting there. He wouldn't let him finish.
Then he just drags and drops the Eureka in the discard, right? And then gives himself 3 amber and moves 2 cards to his archive, and then goes back to playing Logos cards.
Awesome.
That's like the best Eureka ever. I'll choose to archive these cards.
And you're saying you suspect he's sick. That's how that ties together.
Or maybe hungover or tired.
I think you're right. Yes, perhaps he is on off hours and is not quite awake, so made a mistake. Yes, that certainly could have happened.
You never know.
In this case,
What
I'm
time is it in
block.
China?
I have no
So
idea. Should we
if
find
you
out?
want to do well at your store champs, as we still have a few that are wrapping up, if you want to do well at the vaults that are soon approaching,
It's 11 o'clock
I-
a.m.
you can go make Wookiee
Thank
choices
you.
of staying up all night and having a wonderful time.
Well, you have to
And-
decide what the vault tour is for you, right?
Correct.
Like the vault tour is different
Yes.
thing. Like for you, it's maximum KeyForge time. For
Well,
sheep,
sleeping does result in playing better. Being well rested, you are
Yes.
going to play much better KeyForge than when you come in on our hungover zombie states.
You just can't go ahead and
Is
be
that
upset at
going to
yourself.
result in a funner weekend? Well, that's up to the individual.
I agree.
I think I can build a bridge here. Being in an altered state of mind, whether that's self-induced or just a happenstance of illness, you maybe can tap into the heart of the cards, which can
Wrong
be
game.
tremendously useful.
Wrong game.
It's just a general.
Can we tap into the heart of the forest?
Yep.
TCG,
Yes, we
CCG.
can.
There you go. So anyways, that could be tremendously helpful if you're playing with a deck that you're not super familiar with because somebody else let you use it.
Oh, borrowing
so
decks too.
Pete's suggestion is borrow a deck, get ripped, play hungover.
I think I've unlocked the Archons corner secret.
Pete!
We
You've
need a
come
shirt
full
on that
cir-
one, Wookie.
You've come full circle. You get it. You totally get it. You're here.
Who's
Oh, I'm
We'll
crying.
get you. We'll get you on the borrowed deck list and a bottle of Malort.
Yep. So what we're gonna do for Roseville is we're gonna need to give you fraud
Go to
and a
bed?
bottle of Malort.
That's a fair. I don't want anything to do with Malort, but if it comes with a fraud, I'm
See?
down.
Oh, that could be a new Patreon thing, guys. Like if you drink this whole bottle of Malort, you get to play fraud.
No.
No, why not?
I might go for this.
I mean,
Okay. As someone who has unfortunately made poor decisions and drank almost a full bottle of liquor, please don't do that.
Malort's
Oh, it's
really
Malort.
weak.
It's like drinking schnapps.
Yeah, I was saying Malort's really weak. Like that's
Actually, I
why
have no idea.
Malort's only like, what is Malort? Like 35%. So it's not even like really alcohol. It's just mostly
it's not
gross.
even really alcohol.
It's not even,
Yes.
well, to us, to us Wisconsinites, it's not really That's like a beer.
And Wookie, I unfortunately made the same choice when I said, "Oh, Bacardi Limon is not that strong. Let me go ahead and take 3/4 of
Yeah,
this
but you're an idiot.
liter." I have gotten wiser as I've gotten older, sheep. I'm simply saying that this is not a good choice for your liver, for your health, and for your sanity.
Well, I mean, to be fair, you guys, I mean, I think a lot of our listeners have the wrong idea. I'm not getting ripped every day. It's just a couple times a year during vault tours. Right? So, like, I don't think my liver's crying out at me the twice a year that I decide to get sloppy with it.
Mm-hmm.
There aren't
I
that
mean-
many vault tours. How big of a problem could it be?
Well, I don't go to many vault tours. So I go to
There you go.
Roseville.
One
Let's see.
vault in one world.
Yes, I went to, last year I went to Roseville, and I went to Gen Con for Nationals, and then I went to Worlds, and that was it. That's all I did. And I didn't
Wow.
even get that sloppy at Gen Con. Towards the end I did. But not, it wasn't like the craziness that was KFC. KFC was...
I mean, Ghostbuster Girl would say something different. But
Maybe she would, maybe she wouldn't, but we'll never know. So, KFC was kind of crazy. I don't know if I'll go to that extent at Roseville, but I figured here was my thought process and all of that, right? You all know, and the whole world and our entire listening audience knows that the Wookiee is a snorer, right?
oh my goodness, that is an
Freaking
understatement.
chainsaw.
Understatement of the year.
I thought about putting Captain Buzzsaw on the back of my jersey this year. However, if I let you guys go to sleep, I could just get rip-roaring drunk and then just pass out. Right? And you guys would already be asleep. This is legitimately a
it's a decent tactic. I approve.
I am putting in place so that I can help my KeyForge friends be well rested for the Vault Tour.
Nope. I don't
know if that's going to work when we're in a room that doesn't have extra doors.
How many times did I come back to the hotel room last year?
Very
or
little.
for KFC.
Get lost.
I don't mind getting lost. I find my way. Eventually.
Not to the room.
Well, I find my way.
Someone's room.
And then you shower with Drazcor. Yeah. It's not a big deal, right?
Whoa. Draz is not here to defend himself. What?
Well, actually, it wasn't Drazcor. It was actually Casey.
Oh my goodness, this is not getting better.
He's not here either, but it's it is what it is.
Drazcor's on work assignments on a work conference, so we miss you, buddy. Maybe
one
like
2 weeks in a row. This is like 2 weeks in a row he's not been here.
I think he was on vacation last week, actually.
But I think the new drink that we have. Let's see if I actually I didn't.
Oh no.
What's Fernet? Anybody know what this?
I don't know. You can talk to Dev about that. Dev is the Fernet guy.
Dev's the Fernet guy because I don't know what it is.
It's an Italian type of armor. It's an Italian.
Do we have anything else intelligent to talk about? Or
this is very intelligent. Don't you dog this drink? Because the Fireball and the we got Fireball. I forgot what the other one was. Oh, Rumpelmans. That's whatever. And then there's Fernet. Don't know what that is. And Malort. So
it's an Italian. Fernet is an Italian type of amaro.
Okay,
for catching fish.
That's not too bad. So we could probably make these and see how bad they are.
I will say that we enjoy our time, and whether you are going ahead and partaking in some after hours activity or you are saving your energy for KeyForge, there's a lot to do, and it's a great time to hang out. Our community really is the best community in gaming. So come check out a store championship around you if you have not already done so.
Or a vault tour. Come to a vault tour. We always have fun. Whether you're winning or losing, there's something to do at the end of all of it. And I don't think we've ever turned anybody away. We might turn Dexter away, but that's about it.
No. We love our group. So,
but nobody gets turned away. We all have fun. We all, and then we have skulls to play. Like, we always do fun stuff at the end of every night. It's never all about KeyForge. It's never completely boring. We always have a good time, right? And everybody is always invited. And we have a good time. So go to a vault tour, watch the Final Refrain. I will be getting my ass kicked probably this week.
Wookie, you're our only hope.
I know.
Man, Star Wars reference and all.
I know, and that's sad that you left your only hope in me. I don't know what you two were thinking.
Yeah,
Drazcor is not even playing. I'm kind of weirded out that Drazcor.
Yes, he's playing. He's playing through you.
Oh, is that how it's going? Got it.
Yeah,
that makes more sense. So,
but congrats to everyone who won first week. There's, even if you've not followed along, there's some people who've already made it into round 3. So congrats to all of the people who continue to win. But it's great. And if you're not watching, go check out the games. There's some top level KeyForge community.
It's not us.
It is not us, but that's okay.
My game will, I don't know if I'll have this up by the time. Maybe I will. Maybe I won't. It's only 10 o'clock. I can do some things. My game will be 9. I think we got it right now, 8:30 Central Standard Time, if I'm able to get home that quickly. So we will see. That'll be Saturday. Should be streamed. I don't know who's streaming it, but we'll find out. Quick episode this week, under an hour. Crazy. I don't think we've been under an hour in a long time.
Peace out. Keeping it that way.
All right. With that being said, we will see y'all next week.
May the Forge be with you.
Pete, you got to do Drazcor's line.
Hey, greetings, everybody.
I don't think that's it, but we're going to go with it. Bye-bye.
Each card holds a different key to what these masters help me see in this corner of time and space, where reality pierced its face. Down at the corner where